What's going on YouTube? John G again from NYC to Williston, North Dakota. I know it's been a while since my last video, so I'm going to try and answer some of y'all questions and give you guys some information. As far as there still being jobs up here in North Dakota, there are still tons of jobs up here in the state of North Dakota, and all you have to do is just apply. Now these jobs are ranging anywhere from minimum wage up to maybe 30, 40 and more an hour. You don't need a CDL. You don't need a college degree. All you have to do is just apply. That's all. Now, I know a lot of you people come out here for oil field work, and some of you guys are just wondering if there's just any other kind of work. You could find oil field work. You could find other kind of work as well. Working at a gas station, restaurant, hotel. There's work everywhere in the state of North Dakota. And like I said, all you have to do is just apply. Put an application in, give them a call, email them, stay on top of them. Don't just sit around and wait for them to contact you, because they may not contact you because there's so many people up here applying for jobs. Alright? Now, when I first got into the oil field job, the oil field, which was back in December, I'll be honest with you, I didn't like it. You know, I was with that company for a few weeks. And the reason why I didn't like it was because there was a lot of heavy lifting involved. And heavy lifting is not my thing, you know. Lifting every now and then, alright, but what I was doing a lot of heavy lifting, and I didn't like it at all. You know, so I decided to look for another job, find something else that wasn't as difficult. You know, and I was able to find another job where I wasn't doing any lifting, pretty much. You know, and when I first got up here, or before I got up here, I thought that working in the oil field was all about, you know, lifting heavy shit, moving heavy shit around left and right. And since I've been up here for a while, and, you know, I've been watching what's going on, learning a lot, talking to a lot of people, and now I know that it's not all about heavy lifting. I mean, you could find extremely easy jobs. And like I said, all you have to do is just apply. Put an application in. You don't have no experience, that's fine. Just put an application in. That's exactly what I did. I put an application in. I probably put over 100 applications, and maybe 2 companies call me back. And this is from last year, April, when I first got up here, and I've been putting in applications. And, you know, after a while, I got called, you know. When I first came up here, I was working at a gas station making pizza and frying chicken. And I didn't like that job either. But the only reason why I kept it was because it had housing. So the whole time I'm up here with my cousin, you know, he was supposed to be putting in applications, while I was working. You know, he didn't do that. So I had to put my own applications in. Even after he left, I'm still putting in applications. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't understand why nobody's calling me. You know, I had to look at my resume. You know, I changed it up several times, you know, and I'm still not getting a phone call. So, you know, I was getting very discouraged, but I was still trying. I was still pushing, you know. So, you know, like, what I had to do in order for me to make the kind of money that I was making in New York, I went back to New York and I brought some handbags, pocketbooks, and watches, and that's what I was selling out here in order for me to come close to what I was making in New York. You know, I mean, they have handbags and, you know, watches and pocketbooks up here, but, you know, the shit that I was getting was like some real official shit, you know, like a whole bunch of different brands and stuff. And, you know, I was able to get rid of them pretty quick, like I thought I was, you know. You know, as far as for some of you guys coming up here, you know, if you come up here with the mentality like, oh, I know what I'm doing, I know how to do this, I know how to do that, I don't need that kind of training because I've done it before, you ain't gonna make it far. At my last job, I knew a guy who actually came up here. I think he came up here from Iraq, and they were training us, and he was like, oh, I don't want to do it, I've done this kind of work before. And they're like, yo, it doesn't matter, you still got to do it. Oh, but I don't want to do it. Now, in my head, I'm like, yo, you're still getting paid for this shit. Just, you know, shut the fuck up and just do the work. Plain and simple, you know? Like, when I first got into the oil field, You know, I thought I was going to be working on a rig, and at first I was not working on a rig. You know, they had me pressure washing trucks. you know, and doing some cleaning and shit. I mean, that's not what I really wanted to do, but I'm like, you know what? I'm getting paid for it, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut, you know? But back to that guy. So, you know, he didn't last too long with the company because, you know, he knew what he was doing. He already did it before, and, you know, he quit. He quit or he got fired, one of those two. But, you know, when you come up here, you know, just know that if you do apply for an oilfield job, you know, and you know, they tell you that you're going to be working on a rig or, you know, something in the oil field, and they have you doing some other shit, you know, as long as you're getting paid, just stay quiet, you know. I mean, if they promise you one thing and, you know, you're cleaning for weeks, for months, and you're like, yo, what's going on? You know, like, I want to be working on a rig so I can get some experience, you know. If that become a problem, then you do what you got to do, you know. Now, back in the summer, I was working for a company, you know, and, you know, they were pretty busy before the summer. And when the summer came, it started slowing down. It got to the point where I used to come in the morning, and I used to say, hey, you guys got work for me? And they were like, no, sorry, we don't have anything. So I'm like, all right. I came back the next day. I went straight to the back. I got a broom, and I started sweeping the front, the side, and the back of the building. And I swept it for about 15 hours that day, and that's all I was doing was just sweeping, because I had a feeling that they weren't going to have any other kind of work for me for the rest of that week. And you know what? They didn't have any other kind of work for me, or a whole bunch of other guys. So, you know, it's all about hustling also, you know. If they tell you, you know, we don't have work or we're not hiring, you know, don't just turn back around, you know, with your tail tucked between your legs and shit, you know. Go back to them. You guys sure you're not hiring? You guys sure you don't have work? Just keep going back to them. I mean, you guys could do it any way you want to do it. You know, I'm just saying, you know. But just don't take, you know, like me, I didn't take no for an answer. You know, I just kept on pushing and pushing. Eventually, we're like, oh, man, just come in, you know. Or just do this or just do that, you know. So you just got to be on top of your A game when you're up here. You know, it takes a special kind of person to make it up here. And I would say you would have to be a warrior to make it up here. Now, the reason why I say a warrior up here, a warrior, is because there's a lot of shit that you have to do to get where you want to go. Just like anywhere in life, not just in North Dakota. But, you know, from you guys watching these videos, and maybe your friends are like, oh man, there's so much work in North Dakota and this and that. And you guys like, oh, all I have to do is just apply. I mean, yeah, you have to apply, but you have to hustle also. Okay, like I said, if you just the type that you're just going to apply and just sit back and wait for a phone call, you ain't going to make it up here. You know, I mean, there's tons of work up here, but you also have to remember that there's also a lot of people up here. You know, so, you know, if you're a warrior and, you know what you want in life, you know, and you can pretty much make it in any situation, then up here, you know, is a place where I would say to come and give it a shot, you know. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything and tell you guys that it's so simple, and all you have to do is just put an application and just go home, wait for a few minutes, or maybe they'll hire you on the spot, because that's not, you know, what's going on out here. You know, you might get lucky, you know, but you know, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that that's all you have to do is just put an application in and just, you know, wait for a phone call. Okay. Now, as far as the housing up here, is still shitty. You know, they're still charging a lot of money for housing. Like for a 1-bedroom, it's about, I think, $2,000, I think, for a bedroom. And I think a 2-bedroom is about 24, and a 3-bedroom is about 27, close to 3,000 a month. Plus they want like the security deposit. So if you get a 3-bedroom apartment and it's $2,700 or $3,000, they gonna want $2,700 or $3,000 also for a security deposit. Now I know that's a lot for a lot of people, you know, but if you keep looking up here and you do your work, man, you can find something really cheap. And how I know? Because I did it. All right. All you have to do is just look, and you know, I'm not gonna tell you guys how to do it. That just takes the fun out of it. All right. I mean, if you guys are hard workers, you know, and you guys, you know, use your head, you can get very far in life. All right, you don't need me to tell you, you know, what to do, you know, because number one, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Like I said, it just takes the fun out of it, you know. But as far as that, I'm going to cut this short. All right. If you guys have any kind of questions or, anything, just hit me up, email me, leave a message on my channel, and I'll get back to you. All right. Take it easy.